Andy has been recognized for earning high honor roll, as well as receiving recognition for art achievement. Recently, Andy led a team of students to design and create a new art mural at MBS. As an avid artist, Andy will continue to further her education at SUNY New Paltz, New York, with a concentration in the arts. Andy is escorted today by her dad, Nick, her mother, Laura, and her brother, Josh. Okay, our second senior that we're honoring today is Maya Patankar. Maya is a captain on our softball team and a four-year member of not only varsity softball, but field hockey and ice hockey as well. Maya is very active in the school community, which include playing key roles in the Muslim Affinity Club and the Asian American Pacific Islander Club. For her achievements on the field, Maya has received numerous awards, including the Rookie of the Year, All-Conference Honors, and is a two-time recipient of the Crimson Award, which is given to student athletes that display excellent character on and off the field. Maya will continue her education and softball career at Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts. She is escorted today by her dad, Ash, mother, Nazima, and all the way from Mumbai, India, Grandma Zane.
Congratulations to all of our seniors and best of luck in today's matchup.
1-2, test 1-2. Tinian able to run on freshman catcher Julia Hack. Now Patankar squares to bunt. And on the second pitch fouls it off 1-1. Maya will continue playing softball in college. She is committed to play at Division III Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts. The last 2 years, she's been second team All NJAC Independents after being first team NJAC Independents as a freshman. As the rise ball misses away from Kelsey Puma. Patankar yesterday 2 for 2 with 2 walks and 2 runs scored in the loss at Parsippany. Or I should say, that was the road game at Parsippany. Yesterday, Maya missed the Parsippany home game. It was her older brother's college graduation, so she's back in the lineup at her familiar shortstop spot. 2-2 from Puma as this ball is fouled back and over the dugout. And the 2-2, Patankar is jammed. This time it was playable, but out of the reach of Hack and also the first baseman in Sofia Barrios. So it looks like the infield is set after the changes, and Sarah Sterling is in center field. So it's Elisa Spataro at third, Mia Carrazzo at short, Julia Green at second, Sofia Barrios at first, with Julia Hack behind the plate. And this is a line shot, knocked down by Green, and she picks up the out. Green had her eyes turned towards going to second for the double play to try to double off Vartanian. The ball was firmly in her glove, but she couldn't secure it. So Patankar is out after hard contact, 4-3. And here's Avery Neuer. Neuer, the team's leading hitter, 500 on the year, 16 for 32. With 11 RBI also leading the team. As she takes strike one from Puma. And this is a hard shot, base hit right through the middle. Getting the wave is Vartanian. The throw by Sterling is offline. It's a single and an RBI, and then taking second on the throw is Neuer, and MBS has quickly matched, and they've tied the game at 1. Avery Neuer with their team-leading 12th run batted in of the season. Here's Maya Weinman. And Weinman lines a shot, base hit past the glove of the shortstop Carrazzo. Neuer had to hold up to make sure the ball was not caught. And Maya Weinman has reached first and third with one down for MBS. That's now 3 straight hitters that have hit the ball hard against Puma. And now freshman Caroline Powers in a potential running situation for MBS. As there goes Weinman, and she will steal second without a throw. And this is a ground ball to third, handled by Spataro, but she has no play. Going back to third base was the lead runner in Vartanian. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Powers to put her on. So the bases are loaded with one down for Catherine Clark. And Clark sees a drop ball off, and here comes Vartanian in. She'll score without a throw. The 2 other runners also advance. It's a wild pitch thrown by Puma, and MBS has taken the lead. It's 2-1. Clark challenged there and fouls it back. 1 ball and 1 strike. So MBS has come up with an immediate response. It's a much younger MBS team. Last year they had 5 seniors. This year just 2 in Patankar and Andy Bergman. As Clark takes a called strike. Good pitch there, the screwball shown by Puma. And they've shown periodic signs against quality competition for their first-year head coach, Jeff McCarthy. As this ball is fouled off, just like yesterday, up 2-0 in the 5th inning, losing 3-2 to Parsippany. And being a young team, still learning situations, and being more short-handed defensively, and also handling the situations that a team with more travel softball players would have, as that screwball misses outside 2-2. Parsippany, after the win yesterday, is 8-0 in the NJAC Independence Division and 13-5 overall. And Clark rolls one over to second. It'll drive in a run. Green fields and throws out Clark. Advancing over to third base on the play is Maya Weinman, but an RBI groundout for Catherine Clark has made it 3-1 Morristown Baird. Here's Andy Bergman with a runner on third and 2 down. And Bergman pops it up. Green at second base will have it. But MBS sting the ball 4 straight batters. They come up with 3 runs on 3 hits, and they leave 1 in scoring position. We head to the 2nd inning. Already a busy first in Morristown. 3-1 MBS. It was a very busy first inning. Ralph Bednarczyk back with you from Morristown Baird. 3-1 Crimson, leading St. Elizabeth, who's trying to snap an 8-game losing streak. Super young team and pick up their first road win of the year. They're 0-7. But they got good contact against Avery Neuer first inning, picking up a run on 2 doubles, hit to deep right field. And Neuer's first pitch, here to Lily Doniger, is a called strike. And that first inning should give St. Elizabeth some confidence against Neuer that if they square the ball up, the velocity of Neuer is going to do the work for them. And Doniger with a late half swing and a miss. Doniger, one of 5 freshmen in the starting lineup for St. Elizabeth. as that's taken high, and it's 2-2. Along with 3 sophomores. So St. Elizabeth has more than enough to qualify to play in a JV game, and that's the way it's been all year. And a swing and a miss, and Doniger down chasing. 3rd strikeout for Neuer. And there's 1 gone. Here for what should be the right fielder, Chloe Papa, still figuring out the defensive alignment. Once Mia Carrazza arrived before first pitch at 4:07, before the umpires saw the coaches exchange lineups. So head coach Mike Rubright was able to make changes and get Carrazzo in the lineup for the first time. I guess Carrazzo is probably batting 9th, as I'm pretty sure that's her on deck. Swing and a miss to Papa. Papa is a lefty, and she's being trained to learn how to slap out of the lower part of the order this year. And she played field hockey for Coach Rubright as well in the fall, so he knew about her athleticism. Be a 1-2 pitch coming. And Neuer gets a called strike 3. So she has struck out 4, and now she'll face arguably the top hitter in the lineup here that will be batting 9th. This is her first game since early April, and here is Miabella Carrazza, freshman that plays high-level travel softball with the New Jersey Pride, the same travel organization that Avery Neuer plays with at a different age group. Neuer pitches for New Jersey Pride Stern. And this one is fouled on the plate. For Carrazza, this is just her 4th game of the season. She suffered a concussion on April 21st at Boonton in a game on a hard-hit ground ball. And happy to see that Miabella is back and wishing her great health the rest of the way. Called strike 3, picked up by Weinman, and she completes the strikeout to get Carrazza, and the inning comes to an end. So Neuer is able to strike out the side, including Carrazza, who just got her clearance from the doctor's office maybe an hour ago. But she is back, and back with St. Elizabeth. So we go to the home second, still 3-1 Crimson. Home second inning for Morristown Baird against Kelsey Puma. And the sophomore right-hander misses inside to Mia Lanus, junior who's in left field, followed by Joanne Lee in the lineup. MBS was able to come up with 3 runs and hitting the ball hard against Puma. And Lanus swings and misses over the top of that screwball. Well, Puma is showing that if she can locate that screwball, that she's going to be trouble, and is a potential college-bound pitcher at some level. As Lanus lays off, 2 balls and a strike. Puma last year threw 50 innings, along with Sophia Barrios. They're both sophomores, and they've both been 1 in 1A in terms of the pitching pecking order for St. Elizabeth. And there's a nice drop ball in there for a strike. 2-2 to Lanus leading off the home second. Barrios is the harder thrower. Puma has great movement, swing and a miss. And Lanus is down on strikes. First strikeout for Puma, that'll bring up Joanne Lee. And Lee, first pitch swinging, lines it to left, and that's past the left fielder Donninger and rolls away from her. So good contact from Lee, able to put it in the air. Donninger was playing back, had to come in, and then once the ball skipped down, it was going to be trouble on a turf field. So Lee is going to come up with a double with one out for the top of the order. Here's Marilee Vartinian, who reached on an infield single to the pitcher, a little squibber in front of the plate. And this is a line shot, base hit, and that'll go between the outfielders all the way to the fence. Lee will score. Vartinian is aboard at second. She's 2 for 2, driving in another MBS run. It's 4-1 Crimson. More hard contact against Puma for the Crimson. As here's Maya Patankar. And Patankar takes the drop ball strike. Patankar hit the ball so hard at Julia Green at second. Green had it for a quarter of a second, dropped it, and still retired her on a 4-3. And waiting on the screwball, Patankar fouls it off. Patankar in her senior year only hitting 200, but has drawn a lot of walks. Behind Neuer with 12, second of the team. As this ball gets away from Hack behind the plate and advancing to third base on another wild pitch is Vartinian. So Patankar a chance to drive in a run with an out. Three and 2 to Maya Patankar. Patankar has played her travel softball with the New Jersey Sparks recently. And a three-sport athlete at MBS. And a ground ball back through the middle and a base hit for Patankar. That drives in Vartinian, and it's 5-1 Morristown Baird. So more hard contact for the Crimson, and they're not being fooled much by Kelsey Puma. Here's Avery Neuer. Neuer with an RBI single in the first. As she takes a drop ball strike, there goes the delayed steal, and Patankar is able to steal ahead of Hack's throw. Avery already twice first team all NJAC Independence Division, a shoe-in for a third time this year. And a called strike, good pitch on the screwball inside to get ahead from Puma, 1-2. And she is lined up to be a second-generation collegiate athlete. That's outside. Dad Jeremy played baseball, class of '96 at Trenton State, which is now known as TCNJ. He was a pitcher there out of West Orange High School. 2-2, and Neuer able to sit back for the screwball and foul it back. Neuer plays her travel softball, as I said earlier, with the New Jersey Pride. Is a corner infielder there predominantly. As this ball's an elevated pitch coming my way, foul. 5-1 Morristown Baird. They've plated 2 more here in the second, still batting with 1 out. Maya Patankar is the runner at second. And Neuer crushes the ball to deep left center, going back to center fielder to have a look and say goodbye. 2-run home run, Avery Neuer. 7-1 Crimson. Second home run of the season for Neuer. And that ball had a special sound to it after contact. Neuer has driven in 3, and she's 2 for 2. Time called, and out goes head coach Michael Rubright to talk it over with Kelsey Puma. Great to meet Michael Rubright for the first time. He's got a 3 decades long career in youth sports, being a high school and college official in field hockey and swimming. But this is his first season in nearly 3 decades as a coach. He's also a teacher at St. Elizabeth after retiring from being a principal last July. The last time he coached softball was 93-96 at Roxbury, as he's back to the dugout. And he's trying to raise the level of the St. Elizabeth players, raising the bar as Maya Weinman bounces one to short. Carrazza, and the throw is off the glove of Barrios at first. Weinman makes the turn, and she'll make it without a throw to second. That'll be a throwing error on Mia Carrazzo. Catchable ball, though, for Barrios, who was trying to stretch, and you can kind of go either way with it. But the throw pulled Barrios a bit. So here's Caroline Powers with 1 out. And Powers rips it foul. But for Rubright, along with new athletic director Pat Scarpello, who is a 20-plus year head coach at FDU Madison men's lacrosse, was a Division I assistant under the late great Bob Schillinglaw at the University of Delaware. As this drop ball inside could not be blocked by Hack, and that'll be a pass ball against Julia Hack, allowing Weinman to take third. But they're trying to raise the expectation level of athletics at St. Elizabeth, a small all-girls school. And having standards of making practices, the commitment that it takes. As Powers skies it to center, Sterling is there to make the catch, tagging, and a good throw by Sterling is in time for the out. Well, Weinman, I think, was not expecting to tag up there, tagged up late, and that cost her the extra couple of steps. Terrific throw from senior Sarah Sterling in center field to get out of the inning. Powers hit it well, but the inning comes to an end. But MBS is able to score 4 runs on 4 hits, leaving none. The big blast, a 2-run homer by Avery Neuer. We head to the third, 7-1 Crimson. Start of the third inning, Avery Neuer has helped herself at 7-1, Morristown Bayard. More on the St. Elizabeth team and how young they are, along with a sparse roster. Because Mia Carrazzo got her clearance today, now they have 12 players and all active and healthy right now. So that's the great news for St. Elizabeth to finish out the week, to have Carrazzo play, and most importantly gets Carrazzo a chance to get going for travel softball, the New Jersey Pride. That'll get started in about less than 3 weeks with travel tournaments. As here's Sophia Barrios taking a strike from Neuer, 1-1. Neuer will throw a fastball, curve, and a changeup. And her changeup, pretty quality for a high school softball pitcher, as Barrios struck out swinging in the first, takes ball 2. Barrios, solid year at the plate, .322 for a sophomore. And a called strike 2. There is some real talent here that's very young and not a lot of depth or experience in the sport for St. Elizabeth. But there are some building blocks, and Barrios will be one of them. This is a ground ball to third. Handled by Joanne Lee. The throw pulls the first baseman Clark off target, and that'll be an E5. So Barrios is aboard here for senior Sarah Sterling. St. Elizabeth has been shut out 4 times, averaging just 2.4 runs per. And Sterling, swing and a miss, tried to hold up, could not on the changeup. And they have been averaging, allowing 13 runs a game. A lot of that has been defense, and talking to Mike Rubright, just even bad luck, infield hits that his team has just not made enough plays on. And Sterling gets a good rip on it, 0-2. Barrios with the runner, is the runner at first. And Sterling takes off the plate. Sarah Sterling was first team all NJAC Independence last year, as I said. She will be a student next year at Penn State, studying recreation management and stay in the athletics and activities world. And a super competitor, Mike Rubright, telling me he has found someone that hates losing as much as I do. And Sterling, being the lone senior, is hoping to pass along that edge that she plays with to her younger teammates. And to help St. Elizabeth find some wins in the future. And a drop ball called strike 3. Beautiful pitch by Neuer. And that's her 6th strikeout. And there's one away for Kelsey Puma. And that concept that I talked about, changing a culture where you have to commit to the practices, to the games. It's not an intramurals team. There is a commitment level that they're trying to establish, as this pitch is off the glove of the catcher Weinman, and taking second base on the play is Barrios. So that'll be a passed ball. And Kelsey Puma with a chance to drive in a run. And Neuer evens the count, 1-1. And St. Elizabeth had their moments. And a swing and a miss at the change, 1-2. Game 1 against Boonton, 3-3 game. They give up 7 in the top of the 6th to lose 10-3, but it's been a team that just does not quit. A bouncing ball, comebacker, Neuer fields and throws out Puma. And taking third base will be Barrios with 2 down for Julia Hack. And they like the way they competed against Parsippany in 2 games of a doubleheader. Wallkill Valley, who's had a decent year. They held them without a hit through 4 innings, giving up 7 in the bottom of the 6th to lose 9-1 to make the score not be indicative of how close it's been. As Julia Hack takes a called strike. Hack was able to lift a deep drive ground rule double over the head of the right fielder Bergman to bring in the lone Panthers run in the 1st. And a chance to drive in another here with 2 down and the runner at third, Barrios. Noyers 1-1, and this ball is lifted foul by Hack. And the great news for St. Elizabeth is that they are very young and have 2 pitchers that are going to conclude this week their sophomore years. I think both Barrios and Puma will be around 100 career innings between the 2 of them. So going into their junior years, that will be very impressive. And both travel softball players. And in this sport, when you have pitchers, multiple, plural, swing and a miss there, the changeup by Hack, and the inning comes to an end. But when you have multiple pitchers, you can go far and rebuild quickly. Pair of strikeouts in the inning for Noyers. She strands a runner at third. Middle of the 3rd, still 7-1 Crimson. Bottom of the 3rd inning, sophomore Katie Clark will lead it off against Kelsey Puma. And she fouls off the first pitch. Got a chance to see Katie Clark as a member of the MBS swimming team. 3-sport varsity athlete, varsity volleyball in the fall, and a super versatile swimmer for Coach Eugene Sharp. As she takes low 1-1. Catherine is a club swimmer with the Streamline Aquatics Club, and she was part of the 4x100 MBS girls freestyle relay team at the Morristown County Championships, qualifying for the Meet of Champions, where they finished 2nd at the Morris Counties as Clark bounces out to first. Well hit, but Barrios handles it cleanly, 1 away. And here's senior Andy Bergman, also known as Andrea. 4 years in the varsity softball team. As she takes the screwball for a strike. Andy is going to study art at SUNY New Paltz in New York State. That's her greatest passion. As she swings at the drop ball well out in front, 0-2. And and has been playing primarily in right field or DP. This year was the DP primarily last year. And a called strike 3. So Puma able to find her location. That's her second strikeout. And 2 away for Mia Lanus. Lanus struck out against Puma in the second. As Puma sends that one to the backstop. MBS will be back at home on Thursday. Well, they'll host Boonton. That game will be past the state tournament qualifier. They moved that date a couple days due to all the rain as Lanus is hit by a pitch. So on 2-0, a free base runner for the Crimson. And that'll give Joanne Lee a chance to bat. Lee was able to come up with a pop double her first time up. They had to move that date because the previous 2 weeks, as this ball is a little comebacker caught without having to move at all from the circle by Puma, and the inning comes to an end. They had to move that date with all of the rainouts. So today is the last day of games counting towards state qualifiers. Crimson go down quietly in the third. We head to the fourth, still 7-1. Fourth inning now at Morristown Baird. The sun started to come down, feeling a little wind. The game time temperature right about 61 degrees now. As Julia Green takes a called strike from Avery Neuer. Neuer, after giving up a run on 2 doubles in the first inning, has started to find her velocity and command. She struck out 7, including striking out the side in the second. Swing and a miss by Green, 0-2. And Julia Green lays off. Green has found a home at second base for Michael Rubright, and another field hockey player. And had some softball experience coming in, playing some town and recreation softball. So there was a base that they could work with. Green on the year hitting .166. 5 for 30, but an investable player for St. Elizabeth. Has taken low 2-2, and the experience that she, along with the 5 other freshmen, are gaining is invaluable. And that's why St. Elizabeth who had a very veteran team last year with 5 seniors. They were a respectable 7-10 overall. Their best year in at least 15 years to get to 7 wins. And they had a 20-player roster. But the standards changed. New head coach again, Michael Rubright. 3-2 pitch called, strike 3. And Green is gone, 1 away in the 4th. So that's certainly part of it. But St. Elizabeth will have a chance for a payoff for all these experiences as sophomore Alyssa Spataro steps in. And Spataro takes strike 1. She also struck out looking in the first. Spataro started the season at second before becoming the full-time third baseman as Neuer gets in front, 0-2 on another hitter. And Spataro was a starter on that very veteran 7-win team last year and was honorable mention all division. And this is a line drive, base hit. And Elise Spataro is aboard. Came in hitting 178, but that's good contact the other way against a Neuer fastball. So 1 on with 1 out for Lily Donninger. Donninger struck out swinging, lead off the second, and she takes a called strike there. All 3 hits for St. Elizabeth have gone the other way. So the Panthers have used Neuer's power. They have not been able to pull a ball as of yet with any square up. This one is a bouncer. Neuer goes to second to get the lead runner. And that's all they'll get with Patankar covering. So Neuer showing fine athleticism, coming over from her time where she plays corner infield for the New Jersey Pride Travel Organization. And we're going to get a pinch hitter. Here is freshman Dominique Farrell. That will hit for freshman Chloe Papa. Farrell had never played softball prior to this year, and she had been, especially without Mia Bella Carrazzo healthy, had been their lone sub. And a lot of credit goes to assistant coach, Coach Ness, who has been working with Dominique often, learning the sport, sitting next to Coach Ness, who is a very proud Chatham Borough graduate when Chatham was 2 high schools up until the early 70s. And this one pounded foul by Farrell. Coach Ness has maybe one of the only Chatham Eskies hat. They used to be called the Chatham Borough Eskimos as their nickname before Chatham Township and Chatham Borough merged into one school. And now they are the Chatham Cougars since the early 70s. Ground ball by Farrell, right side, handled by Powers. She is retired and the inning comes to an end, so Neuer gets more weak contact. No runs, a hit, and 1 stranded for St. Elizabeth. We head to the home 4th, still 7-1 MBS. Top of the order for MBS and center fielder Marilee Vartinian. As she takes ball one from Kelsey Puma. MBS under head coach in his first season, Jeff McCarthy. Great to visit and meet Jeff. As Vartinian hammers one, just foul. Ripped past the third baseman, Elise Spataro. Jeff coming over after being the head coach for Memorial Junior Middle School in the Hanover Township School District, 6th through 8th graders. He was the 5-year middle school head coach of quality softball there, with consistent travel softball players in that program, feeding into Hanover Park as Vartinian takes outside 2-1. As Vartinian crushes it, and that will be a long foul ball. 2-2. And in addition to that, he's got a lot of time around softball, coaching his two daughters, Olivia and Sophia, growing up in rec leagues. And he played slow pitch softball until a few years ago, until the age of 50. Sophia had played travel softball growing up right up until early high school. So he has seen what the travel softball circuit looks like, the development, and a lot of time spent on lawn chairs watching the action and the development behind the scenes. Line shot caught by Puma, one away. Marilee Vartinian hit the ball hard 3 times, but has nothing to show for it. Here's Maya Patankar. Patankar 1 for 2, an RBI single up the middle, her last time up. And this is a ground ball. Puma is able to range over and get it. And there's quickly 2 outs. And Jeff McCarthy, graduating from Hanover Park High School. He played baseball and football. And his wife Laura playing softball there. So he has been around the game a very long time and has grown to love teaching in the second phase of his life as Avery Neuer takes a drop ball strike. Jeff was working in the mortgage world before going back to school at the age of 38 and becoming a teacher, and has just loved his time, coinciding also with the growth of his daughters. Nothing to Neuer, who's 2 for 2, has driven in 3, including hitting her second home run of the season last time up. As she rips that ball foul off the MBS building. Neuer hit that ball to left center. And Jeff McCarthy telling me how she has great power to right center field, but she was able to pull the ball against Puma for the home run. And yesterday, by a good Parsippany team, she was walked intentionally 3 times. That's ball 2 outside from Puma. Two and 2 with 2 down in the home 4th. And Neuer has worked it full. Last year, Neuer hit 6 home runs, hit .446, 22 RBI, led the team in all 3 categories. 1 home run as a freshman. And that is low for ball 4. So Puma realizing the situation to see if Neuer will get herself out, and she does not. And will not mess around with Neuer, and now will pitch instead to freshman Maya Weinman. And that's just good pitching from a sophomore in Puma to recognize the situation. Weinman grounds a hot shot base hit through the left side. As Neuer stops at second, so Maya Weinman is now 2 for 3. And Caroline Powers will have a turn at bat. MBS has not been cheated on their swings today. And Powers sends it to left center field. Coming on the center field of Sterling. Will have to play it on a hop. Neuer scores, going first to third. Now making the turn is Wyman, and she'll score all the way from first base. 2 runs are in. It's 9-1 MBS. Well, Sterling, upon fielding it, did not have enough urgency to get the ball into the cutoff man. Powers taking second on the throw, as here's Catherine Clark, as she bloops it back to the pitcher Puma, and the inning comes to an end. But the 2-out walk comes back to hurt Kelsey Puma and St. Elizabeth. MBS able to score 2 more runs on 2 hits and leave 1. After 4, they have a 9-1 lead. Start of the 5th inning, 9-1, Morristown Baird leading St. Elizabeth on this Senior Day 2025 for the Crimson. As the number 9 batter in her return to the St. Elizabeth lineup after a month out, Miabella Carrazza. Just her 4th game of the season, hitting .428 on the year. 3 for 7. As she fouls back the first pitch from Neuer, Carrazza struck out looking in the 2nd. But they expect Carrazza to be the linchpin, one of the linchpin players on the St. Elizabeth team. As a ground ball is hit to 2nd, Powers will throw her out, 1 away. Carrazza playing her first game since April 21st. And a player that has real college potential with her smoothness defensively to play at the next level. Here's Sofia Barrios. 0 for 2, reached on a throwing error last time up. But the state of New Jersey softball, it tells you the depth that exists where you look around here on this St. Elizabeth team. Called strike there. Who could finish with just 1 win on the year. If this score holds up, they'll be 1-14 with just 1 regular season game remaining Thursday at Madison. But they have about 3 potential college players. On a ground ball to short, Patankar throws out Barrios. And MBS fielding their positions solidly today. They've made just 1 error. 2 outs in the 5th. But when you think about that, with Carrazza, Puma, Barrios, a freshman and 2 sophomores, that are travel softball players at the moment. When you look back, as this ball is lined to right, but right at Andy Bergman, off the bat of senior Sarah Sterling. And Sterling, who had the double in the 1st inning, takes a hard luck out there. Side retired in order, middle of the 5th. It's still 9-1 Crimson. Home fifth inning for MBS. And a one-hopper hit to third. Tough handle for Spataro. The throw in time for the out. Tremendous play by Elise Spataro to throw out Andy Bergman. Spataro did not really have her feet set, but then shows a strong and accurate arm. One away. Here's Mia Lanus. Lanus 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch last time up. And now a drop ball for a strike, 1-1. Well, Kelsey Puma is getting luck on her side. Head coach Michael Rubright telling me this year, in addition to our youth, we have just had a lot of bad luck to our pitchers. Squibbing singles like the one by Vartinian, more than usual. Dinking hits over infielders, that it'll happen, but relative to everybody else, it's happened much more against St. Elizabeth. 2-2 here to Lanus. But now Puma has started to get some luck with balls. The last 2+ innings have been hit at fielders. And a called strike 3 to Lanus. And there's 2 gone in the 5th. Third strikeout for Puma here for Joanne Lee. But as many people in sports and coaches will say, you have to create your own luck too. As Lee fouls off the first pitch. Lee 1 for 1. A double and a run scored in the second. As she fouls it into the glove there of Julia Hack. 0-2 with 2 down here in the home 5th. Lee also a varsity swimmer. The backstroke is her primary stroke. She qualified for the Morris County Championships in the backstroke this year. And like Catherine Clark, also swims at the Streamline Aquatics Club. As that 0-2 misses away. As Puma sees Lee lay off and not chase. 9-1 Morristown Baird as they bat in the home 5th inning on Senior Day 2025. Ralph Bednarchik on hand. Our producer and cameraman Simon Rosenwasser as well. Called strike 3. Kelsey Puma picks up a pair of strikeouts and she retires the lower third of the order in order. We head to the 6th, still 9-1 MBS. Top of the 6th inning, and Avery Neuer deals outside to Kelsey Puma here, 3, 4, and 5 for St. Elizabeth. St. Elizabeth has hung in there where they have had some pretty competitive at-bats against Neuer, despite striking out 8 times. But there are times when the numbers indicate that a team is overwhelmed by someone that's clearly going to play in college in Neuer. And sometimes where there are competitive at-bats within that number, and I think there's competitive at-bats within the 8 strikeouts as Puma chases inside. And so these St. Elizabeth players, they have had to grow up in a hurry. Puma 0 for 2, a couple of bounce outs. As Neuer now misses away, 3-1. And St. Elizabeth, even with their limited numbers, twice this year, they have had to play with only 8 players, including the game they won against Warren Tech. Hard ground ball to short, and Patankar will throw out Puma. 1 away. And what Michael Rubright did was, whoever was injured, in that case, Coraza, who was not cleared from her concussion, you put her in right field along the line as Julia Hack will step in, basically for 1 pitch or a batter. You do an intentional walk, and then you remove Coraza, and then you can play with 8. So they were playing a softball style, full infield, 2 outfielders in a game against Warren Tech that they won. 2 games this year where St. Elizabeth has played with just 8 players, and that was the win on April 24th, 7-6, where they walked off Warren Tech to boot. Swing and a miss by Hack, 0-2. So they have been through it all, not knowing who their coach would be until 2 weeks prior. And clearly there is a foundation that 2025 looks like it might be in retrospect someday. And Mike Rubright in his latest phase of life, going back into teaching. And it looks like they have a keeper. Swing and a miss at the changeup, and Hack is badly fooled. 9 strikeouts for Avery Neuer, 2 away in the 6th. And as I mentioned, the hope to try to raise the standard, along with new athletic director Pat Scarpello. As Julia Green fouls off the first pitch. And having continuity, when you look at the last 15 years of St. Elizabeth, and since the pandemic, they have had basically 1-year coaches the last 4 years. So from 21 to 22, they had Coach Andrew Jacobs. And then 1-year coaches the last 3. Or a different coach the last 3. This one nubbed back to the circle for Neuer, who throws out Julia Green. A quick 6th inning for Neuer, with MBS coming up, leading 9-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, first pitch swinging, Marilee Vartinian, and the ball is dropped at second on the pop-up by Green. And Vartinian is on base. Playable pop-up, and Green had her legs under her, but as she brought the ball down, she did not secure it. So an E4 and Maya Patankar. MBS up 9-1. And Puma trying to work around it and deals a screwball strike with Patankar showing bunt. Maya lauded for her high character and so coachable. And for Jeff McCarthy, who noticed right away that she's the glue of the team in so many ways. As she crushes the ball, stings it to right field. That's a base hit between the outfielders and rolling to the fence. Getting the wave and coming in to score, Vartinian on her way to third with a stand-up triple is Maya Patankar. And she's 2 for 3 on her senior day, and it's 10-1 MBS. Perhaps the hardest ball hit today, aside from Avery Neuer's home run, as Neuer is going to be intentionally walked to put her on base to face Maya Weinman. So the 4th intentional pass in the last 2 days for Neuer. MBS a run away from run ruling St. Elizabeth. Maya Weinman is the scheduled hitter. Head coach Jeff McCarthy talking to the home plate umpire about something, if he is making a change at all. And actually Weinman was just getting her catcher's gear off. And Weinman is also being intentionally walked. So the bases are loaded. So Mike Rubright, in his philosophy, wants to set up a force play at every base. So here is Whitney Robertson, who will come in off the bench, sophomore that has been the starting third baseman or left fielder for a chunk of the season in a platoon. She will bat. And Robertson swings and misses at the first pitch. Whitney is a second-generation Morristown Baird Crimson player. Her dad swam here and was a golfer before both parents met at Union College, where they were swimmers. And Whitney has also continued that tradition, being a swimmer at MBS. Robertson 3 for 19 on the season as she takes low and in, 2 balls and a strike. So MBS on the verge of a knockout punch to this one, and to try to stop a 4-game losing streak. As Robertson takes it away, 3-1. So now Puma has to deliver a strike, otherwise the game is over. And a swing and a miss at the high drop ball, 3-2. Well, during the course of the year, Jeff McCarthy has been saying we've got to play better defense and wants to see his team be aggressive in the batter's box top to bottom. And the 3-2 lifted in the air, playable. Green with another chance, and Green makes the catch. Infield fly rule was called anyway. And there's the first out. So now Catherine Clark will bat. Caroline Powers didn't realize that she just got pinch hit for. Here's Catherine Clark with an 0 for 3 to try to end it. Outfield in all the way around for St. Elizabeth, as this one is popped in the air over the head of the left fielder that will fall for a base hit, and MBS will walk it off. They will end up run ruling St. Elizabeth. 3 runs will score on the play for Catherine Clark. And that'll make the final 12-1. With the outfield drawn in, No real chance for the left fielder there and Lily Dottinger to really turn and go get it, and a ball that was curving away. MBS wins 12-1 the final. In 6 innings, MBS ends a 4-game losing streak. They improved to 6-9 of the season, 3-3 in the NJAC Independence Division, as now they'll go run and ring the bell behind me. St. Elizabeth falls to 1-14, 0-7 in league, and they have lost 9 straight and are 0-8 on the road. Avery Neuer picks up the victory for MBS in the circle again, throwing 6 innings of 1-run ball. Neuer would strike out 9, allowing 1 earned run on 3 hits. MBS victorious today by a 12-1 final in 6. Congratulations to the 2 seniors, Maya Patankar and Andy Bergman. Good luck in your post-MBS lives. Final totals: 1 run, 3 hits, and there were 2 errors committed by St. Elizabeth. For MBS, they had 12 runs. On 11 hits, and MBS only committed 1 error today. 1, 3 and 2, 12, 11 and 1 for Morristown Bayard. That'll do it. 12-1 in 6 innings. Morristown Bayard picks up the win before their regular season finale, before they will go into the non-public North tournament, and they pick up a needed victory today against St. Elizabeth on Senior Day. They'll host Boonton coming up on Thursday right here at MBS at 4:15. For all of us, my name is Simon Rosenwasser. My name is Ralph Benarchik. We say so long and goodbye, and thank you for watching MBS Senior Day from Softball 2025 from Play by Play Productions.